Hey guys, here's my experiment for today, my DIY. Watch me turn this granny nightie into this lovely, simple, party kind of dress, Okay, if you like it, keep watching. So guys, I'm back again. I'm Yemi as usual. This is my DIY channel, basically, and all sort of other stuff. So this is a granny nightie I'm working with today. I don't know why I keep calling it granny nightie, but that's kind of the name that suits it. So I'm just going to cut the side seam and try and see how much fabric I can get. I really did not have a plan for this dress, to be honest. I think I just started winging it because I had this thing in my closet for so long and I didn't know what I was going to do. It's been in my closet for a long time, so I said let me just try and do something reasonable or something nice with it, and that's pretty much how I started this project. So the first thing I did was cut that seam as you saw me do earlier, and I'm just going to cut that sleeve part away, okay, because I don't think I need that part anymore. It looks useless to me. Next thing I'm going to do is cut like the top back of the dress so I can just see how much fabric I can get. I think it's after cutting that sleeve I decided it's going to be some kind of halter neck kind of style dress. But yeah, that's the first thing I did, and that's the next thing I did afterwards. Now after doing this, I'm just going to lay flat again and just figure out what else I can cut away, or what else I need to cut away, and how much fabric I would have left after cutting. So laying this, I think this thing was like a large, I'm not sure, size L, but I guess that's what it was because it's pretty big on me, as you can see. So next thing I'm doing is pretty much laying it flat and then folding that part that I cut the sleeve with. We're just trying to fold it by not necessarily about half, but fold it till I feel like it's enough for my body size. So you can use your measurements. You could try using your hip measurement and your waist measurement. This fabric is stretchy, by the way. It's kind of a nightwear, so it's kind of stretchy, but it's not as stretchy as the bodycon dress I'm going to use to trace a pattern so that it could fit me well. The bodycon I have is much more stretchier. It's much more stretchy. God, English. Anyway, so I'm going to lay this bodycon on top and try to cut. I have that space there left, the extra left, simply because I know that this one is, the fabric I'm using is not stretchy as the bodycon I'm using to cut, so I'm just creating some extra space so that it's not too tight on me, so that it's wearable and, to be honest, also breathable, because damn, we need some fresh air. So after cutting this, just kind of tracing it, following the pattern that I have, just tracing, following the side of the actual dress I'm using to cut. Then I'm just going to cut to the top, to the very top, so it just creates that halter neck vibe that I want to get. And after doing that, I can put the bodycon away because I think I can work without the bodycon now. If you don't have a bodycon dress, just use any other nice fitting dress of yours to do the cutting, as long as it's stretchy. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is measure from that underarm place to the bottom of the dress. As you can see, I can't just make my life easy by not cutting the hem of the dress away so that I don't have to start doing hems everywhere. So make your life easy. Next thing I'm going to do is now measure that, take that measurement I took from the underarm to the bottom of the front. I'm going to measure it on the rest of this fabric and add some allowance at the top so that I can do a rolled hem at the top of the dress, so it's not like having raw edges at the top. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. And after cutting that, as you can see, that's what I intend to do. I folded this and I placed it on top, and I decided to just cut following the measurement following the pattern that I already have now. So the back is going to be like straight, looking like a tube kind of thing, but the front will have the part that reaches to the neck, and then you just add your necktie kind of stuff. That's what it's going to look like. Right, so the next thing we're going to cut now is the belt. The belt, or is it belt or necktie? It's necktie, but usually what I do is when I have ropes to make, I just cut the width. I made the width. I usually make the width 5 inches, except it's meant to be a very tiny rope. Make it 5 inches, and that's wide. I cut 5 inches wide, and then I make it as long as I want it to be. That's what I'm doing right now. So I think when I cut mine, it probably ended up being about roughly 80 or 90 inches long. So I cut 3 pieces and I joined all the 3 together. So width is between 2.5 and 3, but multiply by 2 will give you 5 or 6, right? So I'm going to join those 3 together to make a very long rope. That's the point. You can make yours shorter. It really depends on what you like and what you want. You could also make it not as wide as mine. I mean, it really depends on what you want. Next thing I'm going to do is fold those sleeve kind of area, underarm kind of area. Just fold that in, create a rolled hem on that side. And the next thing I'll do is do rolled hem at the top of the back piece of the dress. Make sure you mark your right and wrong side so that you're not making any mistakes, in case your fabric is as, clear as mine. Well, I mean, the seams kind of guide me. I can already see the inside seam, so they kind of guide me in my sewing. But then you don't want to make mistakes, you just want to be sure. So make sure that you're aware of that. Next thing you're going to do is, after doing the sewing, is to kind of join your front and back together. I mean, as you can see, the dress is kind of coming along. Join my front piece and my back piece together, and then you sew on both sides like I have done, or like I'm about to do. I use pins to hold the sides as usual. Sometimes I don't. I mean, it really depends on my mood and if the pins are in reach. So next thing I'm going to do is just add the belt to the neck. So you can just make that place a little curvier, that neckline a little bit curvier if you want to, but I don't think I did. So I did that eventually. Oh, I think I did actually. I can't remember, but I think I did it eventually. So I've joined the 3 pieces together to create like the long belt that I want to create. After which I'll pretty much fold it into 2, as you've seen, like this. And I marked the middle of the belt so that when I attach the belt, I keep saying belt, when I attach the necktie to the dress, to the front of the dress, I want it to, align with its center of the front of the dress. So you just kind of have to be aware of that. Okay, mark your center so you know what's going on. All right, I use the pin that's different from the rest of the pin. I used to pin the rest of the necktie, so just to help me know, I didn't want to make a notch. Anyway, after doing that, next thing you do is kind of just align your center of the front with the belt. Sorry, I keep saying belt, with the necktie. Okay, with the necktie. So I just use the pin to like mark my center front on the front of the dress so that I'm aware when I'm about to align it, I'm not making mistakes and I'm already sure what I'm going to do. So after doing this part I don't know why this part looks like I'm taking so long to do it. So the reason I haven't been doing like DIY videos for some time is because I don't want to sew from scratch, and I have a bunch of videos that I have not edited simply because I feel like I shot them wrong. I didn't shoot them right, so editing would just be a waste of my time. And Value Village has not been nice to me. They are not selling affordable clothes that I can DIY, so yeah. So now I left space for the neck of that dress, and I went on to sew for the neck of the dress, and then went on to sew the other ends of the necktie. As you can see now, I've left the space in the center, and I'm kind of like turning out the wrong side inside so that we can see the right side. Okay, so as I was saying, Value Village has not been nice. They are not selling affordable clothes. Like, I see other people doing DIY in places like US and maybe other places, and their clothes seem quite affordable from in their own thrift stores compared to thrift stores in Canada. They are kind of expensive. You might as well just go to Blue Notes or Sirens and buy clothes. So now that I've turned the thing inside out, I'm going to tuck in the neck that I have into the hole or the space that I left. So mind you, I took that measurement before I went on to close the necktie, so I would just know, so I could know where to stop. All right, so now I'm just tucking it inside the necktie, and I'm just going to sew it to complete my experiment to complete my project. I pin it down so that I just know that I'm sewing the right thing. It's in place, it's not gonna come out. Okay, it's held secure, not moving around. I mean, you don't want to sew and then one part is like open somewhere. It didn't really, the necktie didn't really sandwich it properly, you know. Just need everything to be in place. And I'm just going to go ahead and sew. I did not state earlier that this is a stretchy fabric. I mean, I think I said that earlier, but then I did not remind you to ensure that you're using the right stitch on your sewing machine. So I use the one that looks like a thunderbolt. That's the seam I use when I'm sewing stretchy fabric. So I want you to take note of that in case you're using a stretchy material, so you're not like wasting your God-given energy. And of course, if you're not using stretchy material, that means you're going to need like zips or buttons, stuff like that. I don't roll with such projects. But yeah, so after sewing this part, that's pretty much the entire dress, the entire project. Okay, now let's go on to the big reveal of the completed dress. So here's the dress. Right now, as you can see, my necktie is really long, so I could tie it to the back and then come back to the front and make some kind of bow, yeah, some bow kind of tie kind of vibe. So I did that with the front and it looks nice. And yeah, here's me posing and trying to act like I'm extremely responsible and elegant and whatnot. Well, I am, but you know, some days it's not like that. And now this is the front. That's the necktie vibe I created, and yeah, that's pretty much the dress. I could also show you the back of it so you can just see what it looks like behind. Yeah, so I kind of loosened the tie and just tied it to the back. I created the bow thing again. You really don't have to. You tie it however way you want to tie it. Whatever rocks your boat, basically. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching me today. I hope to see you in another video. Bye.